Now, last year on my channel, I featured a Captain America video. Basically, I watched a VHS tape labeled Marvel Classic Videos Captain America. Now, this time around, I found Marvel Classic Videos The Amazing Spider-Man. This features 2 episodes of the original Spider-Man animated series from 1966 and 1967. Now, the first one in here is called The Origin of Spider-Man. Now, of course, we all know the origin of Spider-Man. He's Peter Parker, regular old high school nerd, bitten by a radioactive spider and gains spider strength and spider powers, sticks to walls, creates his web shooters, and wants to become a superhero. Well, of course, he has to go through that whole thing. Uncle Ben gets killed, and then he has to go try and make money being Spider-Man, and then realize that he has to do it just to be a hero, and great power, great responsibility, blah. Okay, so all that stuff is in there. And the origin plays out pretty much like it does in any of the other movies. It's just really funny how it's done here, because, I swear it's like a 1.5-minute long scene just establishing how the spider becomes radioactive. And it's got funky jazz music behind it and everything. And one thing I've always loved about the old Spider-Man show was the music, and you get plenty of it here. But you see a thing crawling along, and it takes, like I said, like a minute for the spider to get irradiated and to fall on Peter Parker and bite him. I'm not going to complain. Because it looks cool. It's it's very, very 60s vibe here. Because this is, of course, like 1967 or something like that. But yeah, they focus a lot on that. But then when it comes to the whole like Uncle Ben thing, Uncle Ben, you get one shot of Uncle Ben. And he basically has like 2 lines. You only see Aunt May in the background, in the very same scene. And Uncle Ben reading the newspaper or something like that. And he's like, Peter home yet? Blah, blah, blah. And no, dear, he's off studying or something. And he's, that boy, whoa, he's a genius. And blah, blah, blah. And Uncle Ben is all... kind old Uncle Ben. Anyway, his entire appearance in here takes 15 seconds. This spider got more screen time than Uncle Ben. Oh, after he gets bitten by the spider, we get a good long montage of Peter Parker climbing walls and stuff like that, and testing his strength and all that, kind of figuring out how to be Spider-Man or what his powers are and that sort of thing. And again, it's got crazy music behind it, crazy funky kind of groovy 60s music with the orchestras and stuff, and the heavy double bass, the doom 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 doom. You know what I'm talking about, right? Spider-Man. Yeah, so that whole origin episode is pretty cool. It's not even actually the first episode of the show. It's, I believe, from the second season actually. But it was good. It was, it's clear and concise and tells you exactly what Spider-Man's all about, and it doesn't waste time with a bunch of bullshit with Sally Field and who cares about and Peter Parker's parents. And no, this is the bare bones of the story. Spider-Man swinging around to jazz music. That's what I came to see. That's what I got. Second episode on here, I believe, is actually from the first season, one of the later episodes of the first season. This one's called The Kilowatt Caper, featuring Electro. Now, I don't think it's his first appearance in the Spider-Man show, because he starts the episode in jail, and I'm assuming the Spider-Man probably put him there. So he's incarcerated, but for some reason they let him wear his costume in his cell. The like yellow cardboard star or whatever that he wears on his face, and the lightning bolts on his chest, and his yellow gloves and boots and stuff. And it looks really dumb. And he's just like, of course, but he has to give the speech from behind bars. I'll get my revenge on Spider-Man, and that kind of thing. And so I don't know how he gets access to this, but Electro is like flying a kite out the window of his jail cell. And the kite gets struck by lightning, and it recharges him, and he gets all of his like electrical powers back, and he busts out of jail, and then he terrorizes the city. He kind of like holds the city hostage, and like about blackouts and power outages and stuff like that. And anyway, there's like Spider-Man has to track him down and find out what he's up to, and we get some typical Spider-Man versus villain action in here. And there's like a showdown in Times Square. Didn't Jamie Foxx and Andrew Garfield fight in Times Square, Electro versus Spider-Man. Okay, well this is way better, because that sucked. You get a little bit of J. Jonah Jameson in there too. Not a whole lot, but it was nice to see him. Anyway, Spider-Man. I mean, I could go on for hours. Like, Spider-Man's super hot right now. At the time of the recording of this video, I guess it's been about 2 months since we saw Spider-Man No Way Home in the theater, which was a groundbreaking Spider-Man movie, if you ask me, and probably one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. I just happened to find this tape actually before I saw that movie, because, like, Spider-Man 24/7, I'll watch Spider-Man, I don't care. I've always loved Spider-Man. How could you not love Spider-Man? He's in your face all the time, and he's one of those heroes that they never tried to give him, like, a dark side or a more human side or whatever, because he has a very human side. But he's just a different kind of hero than, say, Superman. Spider-Man is one of those last good guys actually left. I mean, Batman's dark as shit now. Batman murders people and shoots guns and whatever now, so, okay. But Spider-Man never got dark like that. Yeah, I guess Spider-Man 3, you could say. Okay, well, this cartoon sure ain't that deep. One thing I always found funny about the animated Spider-Man cartoon is when Peter Parker puts the mask on, his voice completely changes in this cartoon. Like, he goes from being timid Peter Parker, I'm just the photographer, but Mr. Jameson. And then he goes to, like, the Amazing Spider-Man. He's like, okay, listen up, creeps. Walloping web snappers. Yeah, and he's got like a super deep voice, like superhero voice, and I'm pretty sure it's the same voice actor doing both of them, but it's just the contrast is like amazing here. And again, the music, I can't say enough about that, because I used to watch Spider-Man daily, and I really need to invest in the DVD box set of the entire original series. But for now, I mean, this fills that void in my life. I haven't been able to see original Spider-Man animated in a long time, and finding this was a gem. I'm going to have to give this an A. A for amazing. Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, we could go on all day about this show, but there's not enough of it on this tape to actually talk about all day. The only reason this doesn't get an A+ is because there's only 2 episodes, and they're not my favorite ones, so still an A, though. Spider-Man been with me since I was a little kid, and Spider-Man's still in the theaters today, and can't get enough of that crazy web slinger. So until next time, have a good one, everybody.